out of time, Sam. Where are you?
I'm close.
Get closer. Reed's knocking on the door to the Oval Office right now.
Hi, what is up guys? This is Hardhead Area. Today I'm going to review Splinter Cell Conviction, a third-person stealth shooter game released back in 2010 by Ubisoft Montreal. Splinter Cell Conviction belongs to a successful Tom Clancy's game franchise and offers what I believe is a serious trademark, a refreshing look at shooter games. Although Splinter Cell Conviction is not new and Splinter Cell Blacklist is about to be released soon, Conviction still offers great bang for buck, selling at just about $8 to $10 on Amazon. I believe this is a must-have for fans of tactical shooters and stealth games. So if you like Ghost Recon or Hitman, you might like this one too. Splinter Cell Conviction belongs to the genre of stealth games, and this is not a regular shooter and thus does not allow you to go rampaging through the missions Rambo style. The classical shootout approach to missions is quickly punished and eventually ends in death. The character you play in the game is Sam Fisher, a special agent. If I had to compare this guy to a movie character, this would be a mix of Jason Bourne and John McClane. The game picks up the story of Sam Fisher 3 years after the events of Splinter Cell Double Agent. The key locations of the missions include a war zone in Iraq, the streets of Malta, an airfield somewhere in Virginia, a county fair at the Washington Monument, and, surprise surprise, the White House. The variety of locations allows you to enjoy many beautifully designed settings, both crowded and deserted. The game offers 11 missions of various length, totaling about 7 hours of gameplay, but that obviously depends on your skill and selected game difficulty. If you are not familiar with the Splinter Cell series, the mechanics of Conviction will definitely take a few good hours to get used to. You won't enjoy the game fully until you realize the importance of using cover and flanking techniques to eliminate your enemies. The game allows the player to implement a set of several techniques to eliminate enemies. In most of the situations the player is outnumbered, so direct shootout, although unavoidable at times, is not really recommended for successful gameplay. Splinter Cell Conviction introduces several new gameplay features which were absent in the previous Splinter Cell series. One of them is Mark and Execute. This is a very helpful feature which allows the player to mark specific targets such as enemies or objects and shoot them automatically in rapid succession without having to target each one. This one reminds me the marking system of Ghost Recon Future Soldier, another game from the Tom Clancy series. Darkness is your ally throughout the game and allows Sam to be invisible to the enemies. The game allows you to switch off individual lights or use a gun to shoot them from a distance. Another new feature is the last known position, which occurs when the player gets out of shadow and becomes visible to an alerted guard. This is indicated by a white silhouette of Sam appearing where the guard thinks the player is. Enemies will first check your last known position before advancing to other parts of the room, so this feature gives you a bunch of brand new tactics. As soon as your white silhouette appears, you are advised to move to another cover and, if possible, flank your enemies. Most of the rooms and areas in the game are designed in a way that allows flanking, so opportunities are endless. In the combat, you can also use the brutal takeout skill, which allows you to kill an unsuspecting enemy and either use him as a human shield or kill him instantly and take his gun. This technique is quick and efficient and lets you spare a few bullets. Takeouts gain you mark and execute points. Performing one takeout unlocks just one round of mark and shoot, so the game requires that you use these wisely and responsibly. Depending on the kind of weapon Sam is using, the mark and shoot skill allows you to take out 2 to 5 enemies in one go. Another thing worth mentioning is that in the game you have to move vertically as much as horizontally. Particular missions require Sam's ability to jump, climb pipes and some walls, and hang out of windows. This is really impressive. Hanging out of the windows allows you to sneak to an unsuspecting enemy inside the building, grab hold of him and throw him out of the room with just one move. The game's AI is very impressive. The enemies behave very naturally and rarely follow the same pattern. It's a pity though that there is no possibility to drag a body away after a silent takedown. Enemies alerted by a dead guard soon start looking for some in the vicinity. Camera, sticky camera and mirror also come in handy for peeking under doors, but these stop being useful as soon as you get your special goggles halfway through the game. The sonar goggles allow you to see your enemies through smoke and walls. These make the game much easier and work a charm, but only until other hostiles which appear later in the game start using them too. Sonar goggles are extremely useful in numerous situations, although the image gets blurry as soon as you start moving. While you play, you can also shoot selected objects like fire extinguishers to hurt nearby enemies. If you are hanging from a pipe above an unsuspecting enemy, you can perform a death from above attack, granting you mark and shoot points, just like a regular takeout. As opposed to previous game of the series, there is no lockpicking and hacking. As you play the game, every here and there appear weapon stashes offering you not only various weapons, but also a possibility to customize them to some extent by, for example, equipping a muffler or laser aim to your gun. Throughout the game, the screen is very neat and all the game-related dials are limited to bare essentials. There isn't even a map, so your only compass is a small arrow hovering somewhere on the screen and indicating direction. This allows you to truly immerse in the game. Any relevant mission goals as well as retrospective videos are displayed on room walls through the gameplay. Well, did I enjoy the game? Did I enjoy the gameplay? Definitely. As far as the graphics go, the game bases on the famous Unreal Engine, which by many modern standards is way outdated, but the graphics seem fairly up to par in my opinion, and I do not have any major reservations in the video department. The game itself is so good that complaining on the graphics is really pointless. The cutscenes in Splinter Cell are nicely designed and neatly glued episodes of shooting and hiding into a sensible plot.
And we are not going to walk away from her, not now.
No worries, kid. We're on our way. Just gonna take a while. Gotta make sure our flight path is in the EMP clear zone until the pulse hits.
There isn't much music in the game, but whenever it appears, it surely is amazing and adds to the incredible mood of the game. I really like the voice acting too. The actors sound realistic and Sam Fisher never spares a tongue-in-cheek commentary on the game's events, in the like of early James Bond. As far as the gripes go, I really hated the interrogation scenes. Interrogations, which are an intrinsic part of the plot, are in fact quite boring and repetitive cutscene sequences, only interrupted by prompts to repeatedly press red B button. How disappointing.
Looking at an ambush, holding position.
Sam, we have an opportunity.
Another disadvantage about the game is the very boring Mission 4, which is set in Iraq and serves a reminiscence of the actual events of the game. It's a complete nonsense to me. Not only is it differently paced, but it also feels a bit lengthy and boring. Overall, this episode feels like a completely different game, where the stealth tactics are seriously limited and remind me of games like Call of Duty or Battlefield. Another problem, the game is dark. Most of the scenes are either dark or very dark, contributing to the gloomy atmosphere of the game. Not that it is a real disadvantage, but after a few hours spent playing the game, you really feel like going outside or at least playing Far Cry 3. What I did like about the game: it's extremely well paced. Although a stealth game suggests numerous hours spent in hiding, observing AI movement, this game is not like this. It is not too long either. As opposed to many game junkies out there, I don't feel like playing the game for several days or weeks. Splinter Cell Conviction offers just the right length of gameplay, about 7 hours. It also never makes you run pointlessly searching for enemies. Your objective is always clear and the game pushes the story forward. This is simply an amazing game, but requires lots of patience and sensible tactics from the player. If you are a patient person, you should definitely give it a try.
It's go time! Holy crap! The target is concealed, can't get a visual. Smoke grenade! Popping smoke! I do not have a visual on the contact.